Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I read something that said the Lakers can package 3 picks and a bunch of players on our roster and try to get us Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young. That's kind of something that the Lakers are internally trying to figure out. I mean, you would have to be going after them along with the understanding that everyone else would be too. I think that's the reality of that. It's as a Laker fan, I am biased when I say certain things, but I'm gonna try to step outside of my Laker fandom and just hit people with what I would say if this were a different team. I don't know that the Lakers can just do that. Is basically what comes to mind. Like, I can say I'm gonna go get Donovan Mitchell, but then when it's time to do it, I would need a lot of things to fall in my favor in order to actually acquire him. You see what I'm saying? I think that's the kindest way I can put my thought. It's like y'all are being a bit presumptuous to say that as soon as you go to a team like Atlanta or Cleveland, they would actually stay on the phone with you for your package. What I hate saying certain things, and I've listened to myself do this, where it comes down to me saying, I'm not trying to help other teams, you know what I mean? I'm a Laker fan to my core, and if the Lakers can get Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, then damn it, I am going to support that. I want them to do that. But the negotiator in me is difficult in my head to turn off, and the negotiator in me says, this is what the Lakers are going to try to do, and then those teams are going to hang up the phone, call other teams and say what the Lakers are trying to do, and then see if they can get a better offer. You see what I'm saying? I don't know that the Lakers are really in a position to determine whether or not they can take 3 picks and players and get Donovan Mitchell, because all they're going to do is call the Knicks and say the Lakers got this package. You want to lose Donovan Mitchell? Give me 4 picks. They only have 3. They'll call San Antonio. You give me 4 picks. They only have 3. So it's like the Lakers are behaving as if they have that type of power. And maybe in the market of having Bron on your team and Clutch on his side and all that, maybe in this world we actually do have that kind of power. But to be honest with you, the Lakers can all agree and decide that they're going to do something like that and still walk away without having those players. I don't know that it benefits the Los Angeles Lakers for this type of conversation to be floating around unless they're already halfway there in regards to acquiring these type of players. Because if you're just telling people, yo, I'm the Lakers and I got a chance to get Donovan Mitchell, the rest of the league is going to look at you and say, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It's almost like these guys are in denial. You know what I mean? That's what I would be thinking if this were a different team. Now, as a Laker fan, I'm like, yeah, please pull this off. But I don't want to be so delusional as to say that this actually seems like something that could be possible without either Cleveland or Atlanta kind of not playing it correctly, if that makes any sense. It probably not playing it correctly. If this actually happens. DeJounte Murray, yeah, we could probably get DeJounte. Maybe a player in that tier. Caruso, Zach LaVine. I think the Lakers have a chance to get those guys. Now that Terry Rozier's off the board, no, of course. But before Terry was traded to Miami this morning, I probably would have said we could have got Terry. A couple guys from Utah, not named Markkanen. I'm pretty sure. Those are the tier of players that I think are legitimately possible for the Lakers to acquire. Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, or better? We don't have the competitive package, man. That's what I'm here to tell people. Your 3 picks and the combination of players on this team, unless they're named LeBron James, you're probably not getting those guys. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not going to get those guys, man. And so I love my team. I don't doubt that they are in positions, of negotiations right now for trades. I will be happy if they can If Rob Pelinka can pull that off, if he wants to do that for Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, I think it's worth it for us in this timeline and our circumstances. I think it makes sense. Especially if Bron is going to be leaving for nothing. You need something like that to try to keep Anthony Davis happy and to ultimately give you a war chest that's worth a lot in the event that you let LeBron James's value dissolve, and gives you an opportunity for the rest of the year to be a championship level team, for which I know at this point we are not. There's nobody on this team not named LeBron James and Anthony Davis and picks that I wouldn't be ready to get a third star right now, given the circumstances in front of us. Because it's not just about the end of this year, as I just said, as I speak in circles. It's about having something extremely valuable upon LeBron James' absolute departure. And if you're not going to trade him, then you need something expensive to trade upon him leaving, and you need to rebuild. Something that's going to get you 3 picks and 3 unprotected swaps or whatever the hell they call those. So that's what it's about. It's about taking some of your parts and then throwing something out there that you think you can bring back that will ultimately ascend in value at a higher rate. So, you know what I mean? You buy something expensive that you think you can make better, and it's even more expensive when it's time to sell it again. That's what they need to do, and I agree with that. I don't know whose benefits. I don't know if it benefits us for us to be telling people that, though. I don't know that that's something you want the wide public and all of the GMs in the NBA and everybody around to know. I don't know that benefits us, and I don't know that we released that. Maybe somebody who didn't love us so much maybe have released that information. Or somebody who's trying to force their hand who doesn't necessarily know the market very well from within the organization, like a player or something, saying, yo, this is what the Lakers are going to do. You don't tell nobody that, damn it. Not if you're trying to actually do it. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff. Like, this is why I think it's very important, just from inside the organization, that everybody have a clear communication and understanding of what is possible versus what is not possible as it pertains to the GM's job. I say this all the time. Coaches and GMs need to understand one another's job better than they do in this league, so that people don't do things that are counterproductive thinking they're doing things that are very productive. I said the same thing about players when they go off trying to demand a trade. Once you demand a trade, you make it almost impossible to be traded, because now you've told the market that you must go, which means that the GM no longer has a position of leverage from which to maneuver responsibly. Because now if you must go, that means I can, on the other end of the negotiation table, tell that GM that I'm only going to pay half for you because you must go, thus locking up the market for you to be moved. So a trade demand essentially keeps you from being traded. So it's like, these are the type of things and leverage that people need to very much understand in the NBA market, so that they don't do things that are counterproductive to what it is they're trying to accomplish. Because on the surface, it may make sense, but just like economics, it could be opposite. Just opposites day all the time to make it move. So when you start talking about stuff like this, I start wondering who leaked it, and if this is not somebody leaking something they probably shouldn't. Or if it's not an op, so to speak, trying to leak something to keep you from doing what it is that you ultimately want to do, or what they feel you probably want to do. Now, the good thing about being a Laker is that the players who are on the other side of this, Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell, they may want to be Lakers for their pockets and the type of money they can make for their opportunity to play for the Lakers if they actually like the team like a lot of people do. The exposure to our 3+ million fans all over the world, for which most teams don't even have half of that. It's a good thing to come to the Lakers and win a championship with LeBron James, to say the least. So if I'm Trae Young and I'm Donovan Mitchell, this gives me the opportunity to start dreaming about being a Laker. I don't know those guys want to be Lakers, but maybe somebody in their tier might say, oh, the Lakers are trying to get those two. Maybe they go get me too. Maybe they go for me. And so that's the only good thing that comes out of this being released, is that those guys start dreaming about the possibility of being Lakers, and maybe that's a positive in their mind. Maybe. Other than that, I don't think this benefits the Lakers at all. I don't think this news is to our benefit. I don't think it helps us getting those guys. So that's what I want to say, man. The GM's job is very tricky, man. It's about leverage. And the more flexibility and leverage I have, the more possible it is for me to acquire more expensive stuff. If I don't have no leverage, then what I have ain't worth crap, and the people on the other end are able to laugh at me because of it, and then don't have to do a reasonable deal with me, pay for what I have at reasonable price, and all of that. If my last deal was bad, then they get to look at me and say I'm an incompetent GM and get to try to fleece me. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff from that perspective that makes the market truly work for a GM, and they need those things in place to work for them in order to make moves. So I just don't think this really plays into that in a positive way for the Lakers, not with this type of news being released. It's surface in a sense that ain't nobody saying that this is actually happening. It's just that the Lakers are discussing it, but it's like, who needs to know what we're discussing? Who needs to know that? And with all the trouble that we have with players thinking they're about to be traded, you know what I mean, and how that hurts our team year in and year out, I just think it's time to start maneuvering differently when it comes to this stuff. Maybe it's time for these players not to really see it coming at all. Because how many times do we go through this and players start playing poorly? You start having games like the last game where people start hugging and all type of different stuff. That's not good for the team chemistry. It's not good for the market itself, in my humble opinion. You know, players thinking they're going to be traded and then reacting emotionally to it and all different types of stuff. I just don't think that helps at all your team play better, and thus trickles down to players not playing well enough to be traded for high prices. In a lot of cases, them dudes start playing bad because they worried about being traded. So it's like some stuff is just probably just not best for the market. When people do certain things that they think are, no, it don't help. They don't help at all, man. So it makes you wonder if the media is releasing this stuff on their own to stir up more controversy. Everybody wants to funnel everybody to the Lakers. You know how that goes. It's been that way all my life. But yeah, man. With all of that being said, hopefully the Lakers can pull it off. As a Laker fan, I would obviously love to have one of those two players. I don't, at this point, I wouldn't reserve picks for what our situation is. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I would have if this were like 2 weeks ago. I had a different mindset. But now that I'm on the other mindset that LeBron James is probably going to walk at the end of the season, I need something in place that I can trade away that is extremely valuable, or something that I can bring next to Anthony Davis and keep me in the playoffs. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. And them picks ain't going to do that unless I turn it into a player that you can play with. That's it. And my future is going to be down the toilet any damn way if those picks don't manifest until 29 and 20 and 30 and 31. What the hell they got to do with me getting to where I'm going right now? Plus, if I get the right player back, I can trade him for even more picks, probably even better picks. I really can. So that's really what it comes down to. And if I have the right couple of players on the team with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, I could probably attract high-level role players, you know, in theory, that may want to take a discount to play for a championship. If I only got Anthony Davis and a bunch of picks that don't manifest for another several years, then all I'm going to try to do is reset my situation and suck for a long time. That's it. And that's, for what we have, is not the best way to play what you have. No, you got Anthony Davis on your team, so would a bunch of other teams would love to have him. You definitely want to put yourself in a position to win with him. So that's how you got to play Anthony Davis, independent of LeBron James being on your roster alone. So, yeah, this is something to do. You definitely do this. You give up 3 picks to the Atlanta Hawks, and you bring back Trae Young. Hell, if you can swing a deal to get both Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, you bring that whole damn backcourt to us. Even though we know that that's something that they're probably trying to get away from themselves. For us, we'll do it anyway. If we could put them two next to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, which I don't think is possible, but if you were able to, then damn it, obviously that's something the Lakers would be. Put it like this: if the Hawks get AD and Bron and add to their situation, instead of their front court and everything else they have, they could just only have those 4 players to start over. I'm pretty sure they'd do that right away. So that's what I'm saying to you. So yeah, man. Hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I've seen stranger things happen, but I don't think this works in the Lakers' favor. I think it makes the Lakers look like a bit arrogant if they just releasing this information saying, and we're going after Trae Young. Yeah, that's everybody else is too. That's how that comes off to me if I were not a Laker fan. Like y'all arrogant and maybe playing yourselves when you release this information, think it is going to do anything other than make people laugh. Truthfully. Because you don't have the most competitive package. You don't. And I don't even know that we have 3 tradable picks. It would be 1 first rounder and 2 second rounders, because I don't think we have 3 first round picks from which to send out right now. And maybe we start up next year, maybe we have more picks and maybe more replenished at the turn of the calendar year, but I don't think we'd be able to do that for the season. So it's just a lot of stuff that about this situation that just makes me think that might not be possible. But it is I'm not certain. I am absolutely not certain of that. Whatever the case may be, these are exciting times to be a Laker fan because there will be new players in this uniform. And the way this team has been playing as of late, ain't nobody safe. I'm sorry. There's no untouchable players, man. I love Austin Reeves, but if I can get Donovan Mitchell, I will have to move on from him. I'm not willing to give away guys at lesser costs or just giving away picks just to get back role players like Bruce Brown. No, I'm not doing nothing like that. But if you can get me a superstar rather, like Trae Young or a high-level star like Donovan Mitchell, who's borderline superstar, then I'm going to have to do that. Or somebody else of that caliber, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So I hope that the Lakers are able to accomplish what this says they're trying to do. I really think this is probably the best way to go. If you can acquire something that you can retrade for better picks than you traded for, that's the move. So that's what I got to say. Of course, I'll have a video for you guys talking about the Lakers and the Clippers game tonight. I ain't done no homework on that yet. But I did want to come here and just talk about what it is I just read because I thought it was pretty interesting. And that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDL44. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out.